I know Chukwueze deserves all the blame he's getting for that shameful penalty yesterday. No argument. However, I will also fault Eric Chelle's game management yesterday. The substitutions were poorly handled. For me, the Chukwueze sub at that moment was not needed. If he was going to come on at all, it should have been much earlier. I mean, you cannot introduce a player with that kind of lackadaisical attitude just to come and take penalty in such a tense and crucial moment. I remember telling my guys where I watched the match yesterday, when I saw Chukwueze coming on, that he was going to miss the penalty. Because I honestly cannot even remember Chukwueze being a regular penalty taker at any of the club he's played for. So why bring him on for that specific job? As a coach, you need to understand your players. You need to know them inside out. And is Chukwueze really that bad that he couldn't even play 20 minutes out of 120 minutes of football yesterday? We saw him in the first game against Tanzania. We saw him against Uganda as well. He got 2 assists in that game. So he should have been introduced earlier yesterday, possibly for Akwa Adams. Eric Chelle just wasted that Akwa Adams substitution because bringing on Dele Bashiru to play on the flank was a wrong call when you have natural wingers on the bench. And you see this idea of bringing players on at the last minute of the game just to take penalties no longer works. It doesn't work anymore. Of course, there will always be some exceptions, but more often than not, it fails. Why? Simply because the player you are bringing on is psychologically not on the same level with the rest of the team. And you know this kind of game is psychological. So it's either you introduce the player early enough to get into the game or just trust the player already on the pitch to take the responsibility. You all remember the Euro 2020 final. What happened in that game? Rashford and Sancho were introduced at the last minute of the game to take penalties. What happened? They missed. Why? Because they were not on the same level mentally and psychologically with the rest of the team. That being said, I'm not here making excuses for Chukwueze because there's absolutely no justification for that penalty. He didn't just miss, he embarrassed himself. And it's not even about the miss. It's about the body language, the lackadaisical attitude displayed, the lack of conviction, the careless and nonchalant approach. It was disgusting. Bro, you had just one job to do. You were brought on to score the penalty, and all you could do is play the ball in a very nonchalant way. That's totally unacceptable at this level. Very nonsense behavior.